Welcome everybody to Show Us Your Tips, previewing midweek racing for the 7th of October 2020. Just me flying alone this week. The Beaver's indisposed, so I am docking his pay this week. But apart from that, we're going to look at at least one cracking midweek card and an interesting card at Bendigo. But we'll kick off in Sydney as usual, where we're racing at Warwick Farm, a good 4. Minimal, some rain on the way, but struggling to hit 2 mil, so anticipating the track to play pretty fair. So a couple of cracking races later in the card. The first one isn't one of them, though, where I'm going to look towards the 1400 metre 3-year-old set weight maiden. A tough way to start the day. I'm just thinking here that Nash going on to Hot Spring Gold at $3.80 gives it the advantage here. I'm anticipating with the track playing fair enough, I'm hoping, because I found a few leaders later in the day. I'm thinking this one can sit probably leaders back from this gate. Abdullah will go forward on Only Mine. The New South Wales maps have Rapids going forward, but it went like a bit of a slug in its trial. So I'm just thinking Hot Spring Gold made a long run, half look gone on the turn, just made a long searching run later in that race, the couple weeks back at Kenzo. And here it can hopefully salute first with was it where are we? Yeah, Kenzo. It was a Kenzo form there. And hopefully can do the job for us first. We get into the second race of the day, where it is an awful staying race. A benchmark 72 on paper. I think I had it listed as, in fact, the highest rated horse here is a 63 rater, which I had thought I'd been clever in finding wristband as the only horse to have had the 2400 metre lead up back from down south, but given it's now favourite in the market, I'm obviously not that clever. So I'm going to lean towards Total Recall. I know it's coming out of a 3-horse race at Hawkesbury, but my default position, I've had some success doing it of late, is to find the leader in these sorts of races, and I think that'll lead. It went through the line nicely at Hawkesbury, and I think can lead all the way here as well in a sad race, which I probably shouldn't have been really bothered talking about. A ripper race 3, though. The clash of Daniki and Malkovich, as well as a couple of other last start winners, including Ballistic Lover here. I was with Daniki first up. I'm actually and it was headed at the 200. It fought back really well, strong through the line, and these Newnham horses tend to stay strong all the way through their prep. I'm just taking the opinion that Malkovich might be able to sit on its back or just outside lead and bully it here. Hopefully eyeball it much further than it'll want to be and just put it out of play. I'm leaning towards Malkovich. It ran the fastest time of the wild races, which we can tie the other one here through on the same day, Ballistic Lover, and fastest time that Nikki did at Warwick Farm as well. So just going with Malkovich. Now it's had the breakthrough to continue on its way this afternoon. Race 4 is a ripper. Borderline could be a black type race here going around on a Wednesday. We see the return of Villami. California Zimbol is a horse with some talent. Pandemic and Tactical Advantage coming back from taking on Classique Legend on a Saturday. And race 4, I'm going to go with Villami. I thought the trials were okay. I think it gets control here. I think it does what it did to California Zimbol when they met at Rose Hill back in the autumn. And I think just crosses here, gets control, and hopefully first up will be too good. With her just in front of, obviously, Zimbol. Pandemic, I'm against favourite in the market. I didn't like its trials. I thought the trials were a bit plain, and ever since that brilliant win, first up last prep, it's just sort of plotted around since then. So Villami to lead all the way throughout in the 4th. Race 5. I'm going to stick with Royal Marine here. Night Witches, I can see why it's been back, but it's now very short, but comes through the form line with Invinciano, who's since won twice, and the horse that beat it, where are we? Behind, Jay Valdi obviously went to the Group 1 race on the weekend. But just taking that on, I'm just going to go with Royal Marine, hopefully getting a run. The maps have it leading here. Hopefully have it not too much pressure, potentially can sit on the back of Rockamore, who's drawn outside it and might come across and give it an opportunity to sit just off. I'll have liked both its wins. I think that Mile's going to suit it, and I am going to stick solid there with Royal Marine. As we look towards the quaddy legs. And where are we here? That was, in fact, the first leg of the quaddy, sorry. Interesting race, the 6 as well. Benchmark 72 for the girls. No real interest here. I thought Willow Hart back from Saturday grade is here to run well. And I also will be having something on Liston Varna at the $26 in a race where a lot of the ones closer in the market I just can't get too excited about. Largely leaving that race alone. And race 7 is the benchmark 78 over the 1,400 metres. I could have liked Navy Cross in this race, but as I've said last week, Quade Crow leaves me a little bit cold at the moment. So I'm going to back the favourite here, Petronius. I think it's one of the better bets of the day. And I think it probably, again, as I said earlier, found a few leaders here. I think it gets largely control of this race or sits on the back of Navy Cross and is the best horse in this race and should get the job done here. We'll wrap up the day in the last, just looking here now, any late scratchings? No, in a race I'm not too keen to get that involved with. I will have something though on Karaquini, still at $31. Really liked its run last start, where it just got pipped by Hulk on the line. It spent a lot of his time at Canterbury, so it's stats a little bit silly because it's not a horse that I would think can actually win at Canterbury anytime there's a leader bias. But if we can run on here, hopefully Sam Clipperton can get the job done for us. Gate 13 at very large odds to wrap up the day. In summary, for my thoughts on the Warwick Farm meeting, I'm going to make my best of the day Villami, best value Royal Marine, and we'll do a quaddie on the fly because we're just flying by the seat of our pants here. Race leg 1 will be 1, 3, and 9. 1, 8, and 9 leg 1. Leg 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11. Money Magic was a horse I was actually interested in race 6, but the trial didn't overly thrill me. 3 and 7 in the second last leg, and come home now with 2 come along. 6 Garrison, who had run 1 quite well at Wyong last start. 9, 10, 12, 13. And I'll put up the percentage when I get to editing this video for the Warwick Farm meeting there. We head down south to Bendigo again with the Friday nights now. Not the strongest midweek racing, but a bit of a better card than we saw last week at Ballarat at least. I'll just touch on a few bets here quickly. In the first 1,000-metre maiden, I liked the trial and subsequent jump out of the debutant far enough. It was under a hold in finishing 4th in a trial at Cassidy. It's coming to a very weak-looking maiden race here at Bendigo, and I think on debut can get the job done here. I should mention, good for at Bendigo. There is some rain on the way. Rail in the 3-metre mark. But I think traditionally Bendigo is the long home run in. Plays pretty well. Race 2, the maiden here. I'm going to just spec one at double figure odds. I liked the run last start of Wiletts, number 6. I like the way Jason Maskill's riding at the moment. I like the fact it's coming through. It's at 3 wide chasing home. Ain't No Deal Done, who would have been a Derby favourite, but I think it's now out for the spring. And Perennial, who's a horse, still a maiden, but I think it's got a future. Peter Moody horse, and one that I've actually black booked. But double figure odds here. Willett can run well. Leave me out of race 3. Race 5, benchmark 70. It's a ripper race. A clash of Ocular and are we here? Who beat it last start? Yulong Storm, who was impressive up the straight at the midweek Flemington meeting, as well as Lunicorn and some other talented horses. And the Gouch, who's been dominant here last start. I'm going to have to tip Ocular again, I think. Here, didn't handle the straight. Apparently pulled up lame as well in the steward's report. Had the SP in the lead up and will run better here than it did in getting beaten a couple of lengths. That said, Yulong Storm had all on his last start against it. It was dominant and can only take improvement from that. Got to take the, despite the SP, I'm taking that win at face value and is the obvious danger in that race for me. Interested to see where Lunicorn's at this prep because the first up run was, the jury was a little bit out. 2,400 metre staying race is the 6th. The 2 McAvoy runners look to have the race pretty much in their keeping there, so I'm not going to try and split them right now. But I will go to race 7, though, the benchmark 70 over the mile, where we see my bet in this race, Somerset Morn scratched. So that's not helping anyone. Just having a quick look here. So with that out, hard to know what to make of the run of Steamboat Rock last start. Potentially could forgive there off the SP. It just didn't travel at all. Perhaps got too far back in a slowly run race. And I think Damien Oliver will be more proactive, knowing the horse having had a ride on it now. But now a tougher race with that favourite out, who I'm guessing has probably been saved for better things. Tough race to finish the day, race 8. But I'm going to actually spec one here, make it my best of the day. Casa Del Sol. It's $7.50 at the moment. It draws gate 5. Very nice win on debut at Geelong. Now comes to Bendigo, where off the back of chasing Asar home, which Asar led at Sandown, dominated. This comes back here to a weaker race. Oliver books a plus, and I think can finish the day on a winning note for us. I'm going to make that my best of the day at the $7.50. My best value of the day comes up in the second race, as discussed. Wiletts in that maiden, currently around $13 or $14. I think's a bet. Quaddy numbers here at Bendigo. This one ready to go. 1, 4, 6, 9, 13. Into 2, 4, and 8. Into 5, 6, 10, and 18. Home with 2, 4, 8, 10, 11, and 12. Now, I've included a couple of the scratchings I've just seen that have come out. So the graphic here now, which you'll be able to see, has the correct percentage of numbers there for everyone. So that's my quick look at the midweek card at Bendigo and at Canterbury. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes. And, of course, check out Progrit Racing. Plenty of news, opinions up there at the moment. It's only going to grow. Some exciting form features coming in the near future. Stay tuned to that. And hopefully I'll be back with the Beaver to preview Caulfield Guineas Day and the Spring Champion Stakes, where we see, from what I can see, Montefiore is going to back up and hopefully do it again for us. Good luck, punters, this weekend, Wednesday, and catch everyone soon.